Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
The way you file your income taxes may soon be changing. Good evening, I'm Lily Bradley. Thanks for joining us. In Governor John Kasich's proposed budget, municipalities would no longer have the power to collect taxes. Instead, the state of Ohio would be in charge of collection. WOUB reporter Marisa Oberly joins us live from the newsroom with why City Council members are opposing this proposal.
Thanks, Lily. Essentially, at tonight's meeting, City Council members will read a resolution against Governor Kasich's proposed budget. Essentially, what Kasich's plan does is it eliminates the middleman, So instead of submitting your taxes to, say, the city of Athens, you would then submit it to a state department. The state would charge cities a 1% fee for doing so, and council members say it's unnecessary to change a system that's already in place and that it violates the Ohio Constitution. But the real concern comes from what a collection fee could do to a small city like Athens.
You think, well, what's 1% here and there? Well, for the city of Athens, with our budget of about $35 million, and with our income tax being the major source of revenue for our city services, it's a lot. It has a big impact. It's the type of thing where you have to start deciding, well, do I have to lay off people?
Now, after reading the resolution, council members will submit it to Governor Kasich's and other lawmakers' offices. But this is a proposed budget, and a final decision won't be made until June. Reporting live.
Thanks, Marisa. Ohio Governor John Kasich is worried about what will happen to Medicaid under a Republican repeal of the Affordable Health Care Act. When Kasich ran for president last year, repealing and replacing Obamacare was a large part of his platform. But the governor says that an alternative plan presented by House Speaker Paul Ryan will leave Americans without coverage.
I understand that there was an initial effort by House Republicans to, for example, phase out Medicaid expansion, which means phasing out coverage. That is a very, very bad idea because we cannot turn our back on the most vulnerable. We can give them the coverage, reform the program, save some money, and make sure that we live in a country where people are going to say, at least somebody's looking out for me.
Kasich pointed out that 700,000 Ohio residents that did not have health insurance before Obamacare are now covered. Details of a Republican alternative to the Affordable Health Care Act are sketchy, but Ryan's outline called for reduced federal funding to states that have expanded Medicaid, and the tax credits designed to help people buy coverage will vary with their age, not income. Under Obamacare, people who made less money got more tax credits. Meigs County is responding to Governor John Kasich's budget proposal to cut the state's Medicaid sales tax. The county's commissioners are currently meeting with state representatives to discuss Kasich's proposal of replacing the Medicaid managed care tax with a fee. But Meigs County Commissioner Vice President Randy Smith says the cut would result in Meigs County losing more than $550,000 because the replacement fee will only replace the state's portion of the sales tax lost.
It's very frustrating to be in local government in the southern part of the state, because oftentimes you feel like that Columbus looks at you like you're part of West Virginia. You're the forgotten child. We have a great State Route 33 that seems like the only point of having it is to get folks from the southern part of the state to Columbus to shop. So we're hoping by pulling all of these local governments in under one roof for a meeting that we can send a message of unity to Columbus.
State Representatives Jay Edwards and Ryan Smith, as well as Governor Kasich's area representative, are at a meeting right now. More changes are in the works for Athens City Schools. The school board made the decision to limit class sizes and open enrollment to avoid the last-minute hiring of additional teachers. Kindergarten through third grade classes will hold no more than 20 students, while fourth through sixth grades will have 23 students. And both the middle and high school will have 200 students per grade level. In addition, the superintendent is considering moving next year's first day of school back 1 week to August 28th. The hills in Athens and Southeast Ohio can cause problems for first responders, but new funds will make it safer for people living in rural Athens County. Departments will soon be outfitted with radio repeaters, a technology none of the volunteer stations have had before. The system will make fire departments more effective by making their communications more reliable.
Rural areas and rolling hills have posed communication problems for Athens County volunteer fire departments.
And that's the need for them, is so that when we're down in a deep valley or behind a hill or something, it's hard for us to hit the towers from time to time to get back to Central.
And those radios are old.
Our radios that we currently have, most of them were bought in 2001 and 2003 through Homeland Security grant. And so, you know, we're into 2017, we're still using radios that we bought in 2001.
The repeaters for Richland area and the 12 other departments are expected to cost a total of $23,066 and will be ordered once all 13 of the departments have signed their contracts, with the repeaters being delivered 30 to 60 days later.
In getting the repeaters set up so that one truck in each of the fire departments would help that situation, so that's why we decided to order it.
And if you pay for a cell phone, you're helping to pay for these radios.
There's a wireless fund that people that have wireless phones pay into statewide, and part of that money gets redistributed back to Athens County based on the number of cell phones there are. So we're using that money to help buy this equipment.
The fire departments and the county commission are hoping to install the repeaters before summer.
The repeaters are also expected to help firefighters communicate with different sections of the road during traffic control situations. Preparations are underway for Ohio's new medical marijuana program. The state is looking to buy a system to track the marijuana from seeds and harvest to testing labs and dispensaries. The Ohio Department of Administrative Services started soliciting bids for the system earlier this month. Proposals will be accepted until March 10th, and a contract is expected to be awarded in the spring.
From the Newswatch Weather Center, I'm forecaster Ethan Emery, and temperatures today were fairly mild. Around 64 degrees was our actual high today, and that was all restricted due to the high thin cloud cover we had throughout the day. Temperatures right now that were still mild at 62 degrees with those winds out of the east at 4 miles per hour, and we do see those dew point around 41 degrees, which is fairly dry. And then the pressure around 30.14 inches, and that's pretty high for this time of year. Now, temperatures across the region right now around 62 degrees here in Athens, a little bit cooler up in Cambridge at 58 degrees, and then down by the river around Ironton at 64 degrees. And then overnight tonight, we do see temperatures around 57 at 8 o'clock, and then by midnight, 51 degrees, and then by 4 a.m., around 47 degrees with a patch of fog or two. So overnight tonight, not too bad. Back over to you, Lily.
Hocking College will not allow concealed carry permits on its campus. College President Betty Young announced the decision that the current firearm policy will remain the same, citing student safety as a top priority. The college has also purchased barricades to be installed on every classroom and office door in case of an active shooter. The Athens Police Department is on the hunt for a Gloucester man accused of assault. 22-year-old Brendan J. Whiteford allegedly assaulted 2 women at the Athens Pyramid Hookah Lounge on Valentine's Day. Ohio University student Alyssa Jones told the Athens News both she and a friend were punched in the face by Whiteford. No arrests have been made. A man who fired shots at the Halloween block party in 2014 began his sentence Thursday. Sidney Woodson will serve an 18-month sentence after he was indicted for discharging a firearm and inducing panic. Along with jail time, Woodson will pay over $4,000 to a woman who was trampled at the block party after the shots were fired. Ohio University's Muslim Student Association hosted their first gala event on Sunday. Our reporter Arnold Vond has more on the MSA night.
The children of Muslim Ohio University students entertained the crowd at the first ever Muslim Student Association Gala. More than 300 people were inside the Baker University Center ballroom for a sold-out gala. This is the first time the event has been held at the Baker Center. It's a chance for the Muslim community to highlight the diversity of their faith and culture. People could get their name written in Arabic calligraphy, get a henna tattoo, And no event is complete without food. From pistachios to dates to kebabs, people got to taste foods from across Arab world. There were also speeches, performances, readings from the Quran, and a little humor.
So good to see you. Nice to see you.
Muhammad Ali took the stage to talk about what Islam provided to the world.
Spread this message, not this.
He says that people shouldn't just think about terror when they hear the word Islam.
Maybe it will be a good trial to change some of the misinformation, misconception about Islam during these days.
A lot of non-Muslim students and faculty attended the gala, like forensic chemistry student Madeline Bishop. She says the night was a great way to learn something new.
I'm here tonight because I heard of it through my hall council, and I thought it would be a great way to learn about Islam, especially because of the times we're going through at the moment.
One important lesson Bishop says taken away from the night, Islam isn't what she thought it was.
I learned that Islam has had an enormous effect on the world as we know it today, and it's not as foreign as it seemed before.
MSA President Abdul Al-Sulami says, given the political climate, they are overwhelmed by the community support.
We consider this as a support for Muslim community here in Athens, and it's kind of appreciation.
Al-Sulami says the MSA plans on making the gala a Ohio University tradition. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Arnold Manda.
The Muslim Student Association represents more than 1,000 students at Ohio University. The members are from 34 countries around the world. President Trump's new security advisor. We have the details about General McMaster coming up. And while it may be President's Day, much of the country is still up in arms about our leader. More on Trump, Pence, and protesters around the nation when Newswatch returns.
University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family. The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, this is it. And she said, the tour's just started. I said, no, you don't understand. This is it.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Eric 3 II, the host of Hardwood Heroes. You should watch our program Sundays at 11 o'clock p.m. Any important and relevant information you need about Southeast Ohio high school basketball, we have. During the week, keep up with our online content at woub.org/heroes. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Hardwood Heroes. You can follow your boy as well at junior_3. As always, I'm Eric 3 II, reminding you to be heroic.
From his Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach, Florida, President Trump announced Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster to be his new National Security Advisor and Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg to remain as the National Security Council Chief of Staff. Michael Flynn was forced out last week after misleading Vice President Mike Pence about his conversation with the Russian ambassador to Washington. The two discussed election-related sanctions imposed on Russia during their phone call that took place before Trump took office. Donald Trump's first President's Day as the 45th President of the United States comes exactly 1 month after taking office. His administration is touting its successes, while protesters say the president is not their president. Emily Schmidt is in Washington with more on these mixed messages.
President Trump marked President's Day with an all-caps tweet that sounded part holiday, part campaign. It's a message he's repeated in recent days.
It's now been 1 month since my inauguration, and I am here to tell you about our incredible progress in making America great again.
Across the country, people gathered to say the progress is anything but. Rallies in major cities attracted protesters for what they called Not My President's Day. Protests also stretch overseas.
Because I think offering President Trump, because that's what he is, a state visit, is entirely inappropriate.
In London, people gathered outside of Parliament, where members set aside 3 hours to debate if President Trump should get a state visit to the UK. Protesters in Brussels had a message for visiting Vice President Mike Pence, who, in turn, had a message for European leaders.
It is my privilege here at the NATO headquarters to express the strong support of President Trump and the United States of America for NATO and our transatlantic alliance.
At the same time, the vice president called on NATO partners to pay their share. When asked what would happen if they didn't, Pence answered,
I know that the patience of the American people will not endure forever.
A potential hint at policy which could alter years of ties from an administration still in its early weeks. In Washington, I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
Thanks, Emily. Trump's VP Pence wrapped up his trip to Europe with words intended to reassure Western allies. In Colombia, at least a dozen suspects are in custody after an explosion near a bullfighting ring in the capital on Sunday. Police in Bogota say 31 people were wounded, 10 of them are police officers. Bullfighting has only just returned to Bogota after being effectively banned since 2012. On Wall Street today, all U.S. and financial markets were closed, giving investors a chance to consider the impressive gains made this past month. Here's a look at stocks of local interest.
And we've had unspeakably warm air around here, but that does mean a chance of rain. And how long will this warm air last? Find out more after the break.
Professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again. It's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
From the Newswatch Weather Center, I'm forecaster Ethan Emery. Temperatures across the region right now around 62 degrees here in Athens, 58 up here in Newark, and down to around 64 degrees down in Ironton. And these temperatures kind of reached the point today because of the high thin cloud cover. And I took a beautiful shot today down on South Beach near Nelson, and you can see the sunshine there peeking through those clouds this evening, which brought those temperatures up around 64 degrees, which actually was our daytime high. And then our official low was 33 degrees, above average from our normal temperatures and well below the records, 72 degrees back in 1939 and negative 17 2 years ago. Now, temperatures tonight, we do see temperatures around 44 degrees here in Athens, 41 in Newark, and 42 in Columbus. And then 44 degrees tonight here in Athens for the low, partly cloudy skies, and that fog will develop late in the evening, and winds out of the south at 0 to 5 miles per hour. And then because of all this, it's because of the high pressure you can see way up here in Canada mixed with a stationary front that's in our northern Ohio right now, and that brought in that high cloud cover. And then for tomorrow, we do see that cold front going to make its way through, which does bring the chance for some evening showers. So at the bus stop tomorrow, 44 degrees, patches of fog, partly cloudy skies, and winds out of the south at 0 to 5 miles per hour. And then for hour by hour for tomorrow, 45 at 8 a.m., 62 degrees at noon, and then by 4 o'clock, 68 degrees, and that chance of rain does begin to move into the area. For tomorrow's highs, I have 69 degrees here in Athens, 65 in Cambridge, and then 73 down there in Ironton. And then for tomorrow in Athens, 69 degrees, those clouds will begin to increase, and an evening chance of rain, and those winds will be out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then for the 7-day forecast, I have 60s across for most of the week, but 72 degrees on Friday, but unfortunately, this warm trend is going to come to an end. Saturday, 50 degrees, and then Sunday, 43 degrees, and then Monday, a high of 41 degrees.
Good evening, I'm Megan Stamper. In sports, we'll look at the eventful weekend Ohio Athletics had, and also a record-breaking NBA All-Star game next on Newswatch. And make sure you stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Eric III, the host of Hardwood Heroes. You should watch our program Sundays at 11 o'clock p.m. Any important and relevant information you need about Southeast Ohio high school basketball, we have. During the week, keep up with our online content at woub.org/heroes. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Hardwood Heroes. You can follow your boy as well at junior_3. As always, I'm Eric III, reminding you to be heroic.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, this is it. And she said, the tour's just started. I said, no, you don't understand. this is it.
Welcome back, I'm Megan Stamper. Ohio University Athletics had a very busy weekend. The men's basketball team hosted the Bowling Green Falcons in the Convocation Center on Saturday afternoon. It was a close game at the half, but the Bobcats erupted for 54 points in the second half to run away with the win, 95-75 over Bowling Green. Junior guard Jerron Simmons posted a double-double, scoring 26 points and dishing out 11 assists. With that win over the Falcons, Ohio has now won 3 in a row, and on Tuesday they travel to Miami to try and pick up win number 4 in a row against the Redhawks. Unfortunately for the OU women's basketball team, they were not able to come out on the winning side Saturday. They dropped an overtime heartbreaker 83-77 at Kent State. The Bobcats scored the game-tying layup with 6 seconds to go to send the game into overtime, but they couldn't hold on for the win. One bright spot for the Bobcats was their defensive effort, which forced Kent State into 21 turnovers. With the loss to the Golden Flashes, the Bobcats now sit at second place in the MAC East with a 9-5 conference record. They travel to Buffalo on February 22nd to face the Bulls. And after rain canceled the Ohio softball team's trip to San Diego, they hosted Rutgers and Northern Illinois at home for the weekend in a Robin Round tournament. The Bobcats came away with wins in all 4 of their games, 2 against Northern Illinois and 2 against Rutgers. Their best offensive production from the weekend came in their last game on Sunday morning against the Scarlet Knights in a 9-3 win. Starting pitcher Desiree Villanueva got the win in that game, going for all 7 innings with 3 strikeouts and 1 walk. The Bobcats have this upcoming weekend off, and they'll travel to Knoxville, Tennessee the first weekend in March to participate in the Tennessee Invitational. And the Ohio baseball team kicked off their season this weekend in Lexington, South Carolina. They played 2 games against LaSalle and 2 games against Butler. They were able to beat LaSalle both times they faced off with wins of 10-2 and 14-5. They found themselves on the other side of that offensive production in their first game against Butler, which they dropped 15-4. They closed out the weekend with a shutout 4-0 victory over the Bulldogs yesterday afternoon. So up next for the Bobcats is a weekend series against Southern Illinois Edwardsville and Emerson, Georgia. Moving from the diamond to the hardwood, former University of Kentucky star Anthony Davis put up 52 points last night in the NBA All-Star game en route to winning the MVP award. Davis led the Western Conference All-Stars in their victory over the Eastern Conference All-Stars, 192-182. Davis's 52 points broke the previous record for most points scored in an All-Star game, formerly held by Wilt Chamberlain, who had 42 in 1962. The game was also the highest scoring game in its 66-year history. The Columbus Blue Jackets lost their final game before their bye week yesterday, a 4-3 defeat at the hands of the Nashville Predators. The Jackets allowed 4 different Predators to score, including the game-winning goal that came with 9:09 remaining in the third period. This was the Blue Jackets' first loss in 3 games, and with their 37-16-5 record, they now sit 1 point behind Pittsburgh for second in the Metropolitan Division. I'm Megan Stamper, and that's it for sports. Back to you, Ethan.
Thank you, Megan. Temperatures right now for the low is 44 degrees overnight tonight with partly cloudy skies, and that fog will develop late overnight tonight into tomorrow morning with those winds at the south at 0 to 5 miles per hour. And then for tomorrow, not too bad of a day for the start. 69 degrees is our high with clouds increasing and then a chance of rain in the evening hours, and those winds will be out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now the 7-day forecast does show those temperatures in the mid to upper 60s for most part of the week, but you can see Friday is a chance of thunderstorms with a high around 72 degrees, and then Saturday and Sunday back down to average temperatures. And you see Sunday, that's not just rain, that's also snow, unfortunately. Back over to you, Lily.
Thanks, Ethan. That does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Lily Bradley. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.